Hello, everyone. My name is Ken, and welcome to part 4 of a series of overview videos related to a product called Canfigure, an IT management software solution. Please have a look at the other videos in this series for a more complete description of Canfigure's toolset, its modules, and its other functions. Today, I'm going to give you a brief overview of the Configuration Management Database module, more commonly known as the CMDB. The Canfigure CMDB is the foundation for most of the other modules and provides a central repository for all assets, tickets, workflow data, tasks, etc. Uh, Throughout this video, you'll hear me refer to the CMDB, again, the Configuration Management Database, and CIs. CIs are configuration items that represent records within the CMDB, sometimes physical, sometimes location-wise, but CI is the top level category. There's a finite number of CIs in the Canfigure, which you can see on the screen here. They're further divided into CI subtypes, which can have their own sets of attributes. And the collection CI, which I'll go over in a little bit, can be used to define custom asset types that don't logically fit within any other of the preset CI types. So the CI types top level category is divided into several things. First of all, locations. The location CI represents a physical location where people and devices reside. A location can also contain racks, which devices can be assigned to. A location could represent a building, a floor in the building, even a room within the building. Locations can be linked to networks and other documents. As you can see on the screen, there are several active locations in this demo database: offices, storerooms, data centers, etc. And we'll go through those a little bit more later. The next type of CI is racks, and racks represent a computer cabinet or a storage location in which devices are contained. The position and size of each device in the rack can be recorded and displayed to show the layout and the free space. It can also track power and heat capacity and calculated to show the output, the total output. So I'm looking at one example rack location. If I look at the rack layout, you'll get a visual if you've assigned anything to it. And again, you can set how many, what the storage capacity is, the power capacity, and the heat capacity. The next type of CI is a network, and the network CI represent a physical network, for example, a WAN or a LAN. A network can be associated with multiple devices, and a device can be connected to multiple networks by defining multiple network interface. A network can also be associated with multiple locations, documents, changes, and incidents. The next CI type is people, and the people CI is not just users, which most people think, but it also includes anyone who has a relationship to any other CI in the system. For example, a contract owner, a vendor, a user. People CIs can be populated and synchronized automatically from Active Directory if you have that capability in the form of an LDAP. They can also be maintained manually. The next type of CI type is a device. And here on the screen, you can see there are several device types: servers, mobile phones, et cetera, virtual machines, laptops. Device CI represents any type of computer hardware that you can think of: routers, switches. A device can be assigned to a location, and optionally, it can reside within a rack. Devices contain applications, software products, data stores, and they can be associated with people and documents. A device may have multiple interfaces which are linked to other devices or other networks to show point-to-point connections. In this particular example, software product CIs represent an infrastructure software item such as an operating system, software product, virus scan, or middlewares, anything that underpins an application CI. In this particular case, we have licenses, products, and operating systems. If I dig into the operating systems, you'll see, as I said before, there are multiple types, subtypes of the operating system CI in this particular example. And we'll go into that in more detail when we get to the subtypes. Another type of CI top level is an application. An application CI represents a business app that can be accessed by your end users. Typically has an associated SLA. Application CIs rely on software products and usually are installed on hosted devices and utilize data stores. Users can also be linked to applications either at the individual level or by a location. And I'll dig more into the application demo as we get into the different subtypes. Data stores. A data store represents a logical information repository such as a SQL Server environment, Oracle, LDAP directory. A data store can reside on one device and may be linked to a software product. One or more applications and software products can also utilize a data store and be linked to them. Data stores can be associated with people and documents as well. If I dig into the data stores, there's a SQL data store listed here. And when I say link, I mean it's connected to CI. So this particular data source is SQL 2019. You can see here that one of the servers also uses it, and it's assigned to the people, to the Canfigure administrator. Another type of CI is a document. A document CI represents any type of file containing information relevant to another CI or configuration item. So for example, the document might be a user guide to an application or a build document for a device. Documents can be uploaded and they can be linked to any CI. You can also check them in and check them out. Documents are also things like contracts and knowledge-based articles, quotes, NDAs. It can be almost anything that you want to store as a document. The last type of CI type I'm going to talk about is your collections CI. Collections allow you to group arbitrary CIs together and provide a mechanism for defining custom CI types. In this particular case, things like support groups, environments, projects, releases, those all don't fit into any other category, and so are listed here in the collection CI. Members of a collection can be determined dynamically. For example, if I have a support group that I want to include all of HR, you can just dynamically link a support group called HR support group to your users that have a business unit of HR. Again, any connection can be made between other CIs, and that provides the basis for the CI types or overall types. CI subtypes, on the other hand, each subtype is each CI is divided into other subtypes. This provides the ability to define a unique form or attribute for the management of each subtype. For example, a device subtype of servers may have different attributes than a laptop subtype, for example. The available CI subtypes can be altered by the administrator using a lookup maintenance function, which I'll describe and show an overview of that lookup maintenance value function in a system administrator video later on in the series. Subtypes are used throughout the system for configuring dashboards, menus, views, forms, etc. So let's talk about standard attributes. Each CI comes with a standard default set of attributes geared towards IT assets. There are also standard attributes, which every CI has. For example, every CI has a name, a description, a link to a person responsible or the owner, the type of subtype. For example, if I'm putting in, for example, an application, the first thing that I would do is select the subtype of application. It's either an application or an instance in this case. So that's the type. All CIs come with a status, a created date, who created the link, when was the last time it was modified, who modified it, and a version date. Every additional or every CI can have additional attributes added by an administrator using the form editor. And the form editor I have already discussed in a detailed system video, which you can view in this series. The default CMD menu, as you saw earlier, this is the screen and shows the default into a newly customized Canfigure instance. This can easily be modified or customized by an administrator using the edit menu link down below. It's right here. So let's talk about creating CIs for just a few minutes. To create a CI, it's very, very simple. Really, all you have to do is select the type of CI. So in this particular case, I'll select applications. And creating a CI is as simple as clicking on the create icon up here in the corner. You'll see a plus sign for all the CIs. You'll either be taken directly to a form or a list of subtypes. So in this particular case, again, there are two different types of applications. So we're going to select application, and here's your default form. This depends on the configuration of the search screen to create the function. Multiple CIs can be created using also via an Excel import or a CSV import file, and using an import function typically next to the CI. So for example, if we go back one page to the applications, this is the create CI, and this is also the import function. So, and I've gone over the import export function in another video, which you can certainly look at, and it's called the Data Wizard video. The import, again, that import button will take you directly to the data import wizard, where you can upload your CI using data from a CSV or Excel file. And again, the data import wizard has more on this. New CIs can also be created using a couple of different methods. For example, user CIs, as I mentioned, can be used from a direct import from Active Directory through an LDAP sync. The database federator, which is connected to an external database for things like discovery applications, anything like that. If it's a federator, it can be connected. Also, using the REST API, we can import different types of CIs, and of course an auto upload of a CSV data file if you're getting a file drop or a secure FTP file from somewhere else. So let's talk about modifying CI attributes. So the permission to modify, and I'm going to click on this first application here again in the example database. Permission to modify a CI depends on the user access level. If the enable editing option is displayed, the user can edit and modify the attributes shown on the form. Permission to edit a CI also extends to adding notes, linking and unlinking relationships, and attaching documents. Saving changes to a CI, and I'll show you that button. If I click on edit, I can make a modification. So for example, if this went to version 2 and I knew about it, saving changes to a CI will typically create a new version excuse me, of the CI with a complete audit history. So if I click on this particular version history, you can see what it was, what it used to be, what the current version is, what the created date of each version was, and what the differences are. I can also modify CI relationships. So in this particular case for app 1, it has a few different relationships. It has been installed on this particular server under devices. It's owned by the Canfigure administrator in this particular case as a people CI type. And then it's also affected by this incident, which has been entered in this system. CIs can be linked together to define dependencies, usage, parent-child relationships, and a whole lot more. Each relationship link is bidirectional in that it's possible to see the relationship on both ends. So this particular case, I'm looking at the links for application 001. If I went to this server and clicked on the links button, it would also show this particular application installed on it and any other applications installed on it. Links can be managed via the Links tab, which I'm on right now, and editing a CI record. So if I want to, for example, edit this CI record and go to Links, increasing the detail is provided as you can filter on different things. So filters can be achieved by clicking on the CI link or clicking the plus sign here, for example. It'll tell you what it is. Filtering on a type. So if I wanted to create another link to this particular application, I would want to say link it to a different server. So I can click on device. It'll show you the existing link. I can click on server, and then I would want to click on new link, and it gives me a form to search all the servers. And so, for example, if I create a link to server 09, which is an example server, and save that link, now I go back out and you can see on this application, it's linked to that server 009 as well. It's just very, very simple. So saving the changes to a CI will typically create a new version again, and you can see it. The CI relationship operations can also be performed via REST API, database federator, CSV import, LDAP syncs, etc. Generally, it's not recommended to delete a CI record since that could affect your audit or past CIs. Instead, it's much more appropriate, in our opinion, to set the status to archived instead of deleting it. This hides the relationship in the record view, and only an administrator can change it from archived back to either active or inactive. Only administrators, again, are permitted to delete or permanently delete CIs from the CMDB. So if I wanted to do that, it would be pretty simple here to get this record up and then click delete. As long as I'm an administrator, that's perfectly fine. And that completes our review and overview of the configuration management module. Again, very flexible. Any attributes that you want to track for almost any CI are possible. And again, any other information that you need on Canfigure, please view the other videos in our web series, or the links are also copied in the description below. You are more than welcome to do your research and go out to the web and wiki, and thanks for your time, and have a great rest of your day.